All right. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Mr. Zimney.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Good to see you guys. Good morning, Ed. Good to see you, my friend. Trevor, good morning. Good to see you. Glad you're on. GP, looking forward to your presentation today, as always.
Good morning.
Looking forward to it. Let me let Bilo in here. All right. Joshua, nice job with your sale, and thank you for being on this morning. Miss Renee, good morning, superstar.
Good morning.
Start calling you. I think that's your nickname. If I start calling you that, it's going to stick. I give people nicknames and they stick. So
That's the boss.
yeah, the boss. I like that. I like that. Congratulations, Renee, on your week, by the way, which we'll cover here in a little bit. Mark, you just lit up, so I'm going to tell you good morning. I know you're in the car with your
Good
better.
morning.
Good morning, buddy. Theo, good morning. Good morning to you. And let's see. Cecile, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Let's see. Bilo, what's up, my friend?
What's up, Blair?
How you doing, buddy? Let's see. Thanks, Cecile. I just saw your message. Let's see. Brandy, good morning again. Mr. Cruz, good morning. Sorry for misspelling your name yesterday. It was weird. I don't know why I did that. Amy Hillier, good to see you on. Let's see.
Good morning.
Good morning. Spagala, what's up, buddy?
Everybody.
Mr. Scott.
They have all the girls.
Luke,
Well,
good morning. Let's see. Amy, I think you're off mute, but good morning to you. Matt, good morning. Mr.
morning.
Mr. MLB, good morning.
Good morning.
I got everybody. Good morning, Brendan. All right. If I missed you guys, I apologize. You can yell at me, but I think we should be good here. So we got obviously Gregory Pitts on this morning. Obviously one of our teammates. And for those of you guys that didn't know, Gregory is such a humble one, probably one of the most humble people I know. He and his team are making a transition here to be full-time FFL. So we're very, very excited for those guys to be here full-time with FFL. It was a big decision for them. I don't know, Gregory probably doesn't want me to do this publicly, but I want to commend you and your team, your mighty team of four, if you will. Not going to mention any of those guys by name. And I thought I saw Chester on here, but maybe he fell off. So Chester, if I missed you, good morning. But Gregory, excited for you guys to be here. I know we announced it on the leadership team on Sunday. We're in the process of that transition, and it's going to be great things. We're very blessed that you and your team are here full time. So anything you'd like to say to that? I know you're a humble dude, but I wanted to get you.
You're about to make me cry because no, it truly was a big decision, and I'm just so thankful for the team just rallying around me and all of the support. Brandy has been there from right at the beginning. Even Chester, I hope he's on here. I can't.
He's here.
See all the names. Okay.
I can see.
I've been knowing Chester for 30 years. We were in the Navy together. So I've known him longer than I know anybody in the state of Georgia. So so before I start crying up and all of that, but I'm glad that we're over here now and we're ready to get going.
Yes, big things for you guys. You're very, very welcome. Glad you're here. Chester, Brandy, we're glad you guys are here for sure. Good to see you, Chester, for sure. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. So Paul, you gonna cry too? I saw you wiping your eye.
Yeah, I'm getting a little teared up here.
I understand. I'm a sentimental dude. So Greg, you got me tearing up over here as well. So what we're going to do, guys, is go over recognition because I want to make sure I get through that. You guys know how I love doing that part of our meeting. And then I want to make sure Gregory has plenty of time to go over the material and give you guys an opportunity to ask whatever questions you can ask. Gregory, I consider him our local resident expert with Mutual of Omaha, like we have Tim with trans and a lot of other products, and Mark with continuation with Americo. So you guys got a lot of great resources here, which are going to continue to get better. And as you guys continue to get bigger, better, stronger, if you guys have things you want to train on, it's not just leadership. Iron sharpens iron, and that's what we're all here. So from that perspective, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Gregory, when we get towards the end of this thing, I'm going to give you the rights, if you will, to the screen, and then you can do your thing.
Okay.
So, all right. This thing always moves to the bottom. So this is a 5-week month. This is obviously week 2, starting yesterday, and we had a very nice start with over 12K yesterday. So congratulations to all those that protected a family. And I think it's going to be a really big weekend warrior weekend with the weather getting warmer and the days we're getting 2 minutes and 8 seconds exactly of extra daylight every day. So, you'll have another, 6-8 minutes by the end of the week. So HCMS, for those of you guys that are new, I know we have a couple newer people on here. Make sure you get your carriers into HCMS. most of the time when you get appointed with the new carrier, the email will come through. It'll come through myself or Amy. We always send you a reminder, hey, make sure you enter this carrier into ATMS. If Amy is supposed to do that, I still forward the email to you, letting you know that she's going to enter it for you. We go over those carriers, which one she has to enter in on Wednesday's recruiting process meeting. Bonuses, again, $30K. This is a non-charge backable bonus that Mr. Sean Mike pays directly out of his pocket, believe it or not. $30,000 in a month is $500, $40K is $750, all the way up to a $6,000 non-charge backable bonus for if you write $150,000 on your own pen. And believe it or not, we have people do it every single month. Our next level training, if you are still interested in coming, you can get on the waiting list, because we know there's, life happens, things are going to change, but get with your leadership person. All 15 slots are filled, I should say, but the trainings just keep getting better. There's a lot of time that goes into planning these things, and we want to do everything we can to make sure you maximize your opportunity. So March 22nd, 23rd here in St. Louis. If you're interested, check with your leadership person. We can get you on the waiting list. As people fall off, we can add you on. All right, our meeting schedule. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Mondays and Thursdays are dial days. If you are not aware, I think yesterday when we were on, I think there was 30 people on, which is crazy to me, but provides you with an opportunity to go on and listen to some of the top performers across the country, set appointments. It allows you to ask questions of them, what they're doing, why they're saying what they're saying, what leads they're dialing, all of that. So it's a good idea for you to be on there Mondays and Thursdays, especially if you're just getting started, because I know a cell phone only weighs probably less than a pound, but it can feel as heavy as an anvil when you're first getting started, or maybe you're not having the best dial day. Highly recommend it. I'm on there every single week. Also, what they've just recently started doing is breakout rooms on there. So if you, Keith LaFleur, I think is doing 35, 40K a month, and everything, he's not going into a home at all. Everything he's doing is over the phone. He doesn't do any Zoom or anything like that at all. He's doing all of his sales over the phone. 2 weeks ago, he did $24,000 in about 4 or 5 days. So those are the kind of people that the caliber of people and skill level that are on there at your disposal. Monday afternoon, there's a guest trainer on, if you will, that gets on the Velocity Zoom call. I think it's a really good call. I just recently started hopping on those. You'll have people like Jake Conan, who's written, I think he wrote $1.1 million or $1.2 million last year and $1 million a year before that. People of that caliber that will literally just answer whatever question you have. So you get $1 million ideas for free. Highly recommend you attend those. Wednesdays are recruiting meetings. So if you're getting ready to onboard or you're getting ready to recruit someone, highly recommend you attend those meetings. Ask whatever questions you want, help you set up your process to onboard people and get yourself writing as soon as possible. Of course, Thursday is another meeting set up for Velocity. Same thing. You can hear some of the top performers. Numbers are put out there. Key ideas, team building, all those kind of things on Thursday, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. And last but certainly not least, our training meeting today. And we're getting ready to have more guests. I just booked 2 more guests here in the next 4 to 6 weeks that'll be on from different carriers, lead vendors. That's the kind of stuff that we want to do to help you guys get further faster. So any questions there before we move on, get into the numbers? Fantastic. By the way, just to give you guys a heads up, because of some of the things that have been going on with the FTC, we have made our YouTube page private. So if you guys want to be a part of it, if you just click subscribe and all that kind of stuff, it'll let you on, but you'll have to look us up by name, obviously, directly by name on YouTube now. So I can say the numbers now, which is fun. So in reference to strings, Mr. Salazar, 2 weeks. Brian Smagala, 3 weeks. Jeff Scott, 5 weeks string working part-time. Jeff, congratulations to you, my friend. Paul, love what you're doing, man. 9 weeks. And I know you and I will step over that 10-week mark next week. Ryan Valet, building a team, just consistently writing week in and week out. Ryan, is very, very clear what you're doing. Agent of the month last month and just kicking butt and taking names. So congratulations to you, sir. 11 weeks in a row. Christy Polsak, quietly, just week in and week out, protecting families, building an organization, 22 weeks in a row. Congratulations. And Renee, I think your nickname's gonna stick. I think GP's his names will trump mine. So the boss is what we'll start calling you. The boss at 45 weeks in a row. Congratulations, Renee. 45 weeks in a row of protecting a family. And I'm going to pause for just a second. All this is great. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the case is, but 22, 45, 53, 58. Guys, think of all the families. So first of all, congratulations to you guys as well, Renee, Tim, and Mark. But just think of all the families that you guys have protected in between that time. And think about that when it's all fun and games, right? When we're sitting there, we're having the conversations with them. Some we have to nudge people a little bit harder than we should, but they take that policy out and protect their family. And then that person passes away. What we do matters, right? And to think that, Mark, you've gone 58 weeks, Tim, 53, Renee, 45, Christy, 22, Ryan, 11. I mean, it's absolutely tremendous. So I know this string thing kind of gets brushed over, but this, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important stats that we have, because you're consistently protecting families when they'll need it the most. So I want to take a little time and commend you guys. I know this list will get bigger, but congratulations to all of you on the strings. Reference to our week last week, 11 people hit the board. Miss Siri Kersey, 876. Christy Polsak, 1378. Jeff Scott, 1402. Mr. Salazar, 2205. Brian Smagala, 2439. Nice job, Brian. Ryan, 2625. Mr. Zimney, cracking our top 5 again, $4,107. Nice job, Paul. And the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Worldwide, coming in the number 3 spot, 8876 with 6 families protected. Way to go, my friend. And Mr. Mark, huge week. You said you were going to have a huge week, and you did. $14,550 with 6 families protected. Absolutely outstanding week, especially by our top 4, if you will. And then we've got the boss there with Renee, also said she was going to have a big week, $14,991, and even more important than the number, 11 families protected. That brought our total to 56,116 with 43 families protected. Well done, you guys. All right, so we had our best Saturday ever as Team Genesis and Worldwide and Good Life, 15,415. So congratulations there. Another big weekend. And our test Sheila here, one of our new agents, one of my recruits, passed her exam. Guys, she went through, did all this stuff in a matter of 2 days. I think it was about a day and a half, 2 days, passed her test on Monday. So it shows what we talk about in the recruiting meeting, 2 weeks is plenty of time for people to get this done if they're committed. Trevor Lawrence passed his exam. Congratulations, Trevor. Matt passed his exam. Congratulations, Matt. And I think both those gentlemen are on the call. So good on you guys to be on here. Darius working full-time someplace else. Can't say the name right now to keep his identity protected, but Darius passed his exam as well. So we had a lot of exam passers last week. Just wanted to give credence to Renee again for a huge weekend last weekend, over $12,000 last weekend, and 12 families protected over the weekend. Congratulations, Renee. Brian, I know we poke fun at each other and all this kind of stuff, and it's all in good fun, but it was a pleasure to give you a call last week and let you know, or earlier this week, that you are Agent of the Month. You kind of took this thing by storm. I know you struggled a little bit, and I know we beat up on you a couple months ago at the next level training, not to do it maliciously. You took it on the chin. You went back, you regrouped, you said you wanted to do virtual, and that's what you've been doing. And it's awesome to see what you're doing, man. It really, really, truly is. You earned it. Congratulations for being our Agent of the Month. I'm sure this won't be the last time, but we appreciate all you do, your efforts, and you digging in and helping as many families as you can. Congratulations, Brian. All right. Last couple things here, then we'll swing to you, Mr. Pitts. All righty. Where we go? Here we go. Top 5 producers for the week. As we mentioned already, top 4, Mr. Paul Zimney, 4107, Tim Belo, 8878, Mark Williams, 14,551, and of course, Renee, 14,000, let's call it 15 grand, because that's where we're at, 11 families protected. To round out the month, February's over. Our top 10 producers for the month, these are issue paid numbers. We'll go right to number 9 with Mr. Jeff Scott, 3826. Well done, Jeff. Reggie Calhoun down there in Texas, $4,071. Renee Barker, $5,900 issue paid for the month. Brian Smagala, $6,600. Well done, Brian. Our top 5, Ryan Villette. Crazy what you can do part-time, right, Ryan? $7,400 part-time to crack our top 5 for the month. Mr. Zimney said he would. He did. $8,800 for the month. And our top 3, Mr. Mark Williams, back to his winning ways, over $9,000 with 10 families protected. Mr. Salazar, $97.78 with 12 families protected. And again, top of the heap, Mr. Belo, 14 families protected, $19,557 to round out our top 10 for the month. In reference to issue paid premium, just over $100K for the month. And we only issued 16,000 last week, which was kind of weird. That means that's going to float over to this month of March. And this month is going to be huge. Last couple things here, and I'm going to swing to Mr. Pitts, give him plenty of time for you guys to ask questions about WinFlex. Our numbers yesterday, we had 8 total people write business to start the week. We had 11 last week. So Mark put it out there in the universe that we do 65,000 this week, and I don't see any reason why we'd miss that. Number 8 there, Mr. Cruz, 606. Joshua down there in Florida, 708. Way to go, Joshua. Kwaku, 754. Renee, 788 to continue her string. Kelly, nice job, 866. Christy Polsak, 1602. The great one, 1658. And of course, Mr. Bilo goes out, absolutely crushes it yesterday with 5170. Total 12,152, 9 families protected. Just so if you missed it, if you are a part of WorkSpot's 30% discount on all internet needs, that goes to the next couple of days. If you guys have any issues with the code not working or whatever the case is, email me and Fabiana. If you do that, it allows me to keep reaching out to her to make sure she gets you the code. For some reason, sometimes these codes get a little bit weird. Remember, this is the last week. I'll put this up here. 450K with Miraco. So now you do not need a mouse swab. You can go all the way up to $450,000 with no mouse swab. They just changed that effective the 18th of last month. And then we have a couple days left of the Mutual of Omaha program that's out there. We will continue to put this on Slack. Your first IULE that you write, they will give you $100 for your first approved application. And then if you are the top performer, because this is an FFL only contest, you get $1,000. If you pay $7,500 of the IULE. And if you're the top in the company, it's another $4,000 bonus. A couple days left to do that. Just to let you guys know, we'll continue to post this on Slack. If you have any questions about the details of the program, you can reach out to me individually. Americal also offers an 8% bonus that's paid out a couple times a year, started December 1st, and goes to May 31st of this year. You get an extra bonus on your premium for the CBO 50 continuation, and then the payment protector of both kinds, if you will. 8% bonus on your total amount of business. And then the last 2 things here, I know we don't talk much about American Amicable or AMAM, but you're getting an additional 25% on any production you have. Their annual program is to Bonus Aries, depends on how you pronounce it, in Argentina. So if you guys are familiar with AMAM and want to write them more, we just want to make sure you guys understand and know what's out there for you. Here's our calendar. So just shows you what's going on month to month, week to date, and we'll go from there. So from that perspective, if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm going to swing to Mr. Pitts, and he's going to talk about WinFlex. All right, Gregory, let me find your name on here, my friend. GP, where'd he go? GP. There he is, right there top, making it hard on myself. All right, Gregory, you are now the host, and the floor is yours.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's always an honor to be able to do a little training on here. I know the last time that I was here, that I did training, we talked about the children's IUL. And that's a great product. But before we are able to do that, because we have to do an illustration with that. And an illustration is with an IUL, illustration shows our clients the death benefit and how the cash accumulation grows over the life of the policy. And it shows them that year after year after year after year. You can show them how it grows. You can show them where they can take the, they just wanted to cancel it. They want to take it out. It shows you the percentage. It shows you the S&P, how it mirrors that. It shows you that over the last 25 years, all of those good things. But to get to the IUL, we got to do the register for WinFlex. So to do that, I'm going to share my screen really quick. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
We got it.
Great. Thank you. So you want to log into your Mutual of Omaha account. And I did that beforehand. And then at the top, you see sales, professional access, products, sales and marketing, reports, training and compliance. We're going to go to the sales and marketing. And then you'll see all the different links on there. All the way to the right, you'll see forms and materials, electronic applications. That's where you go when you get ready to write your actual application in Mutual. And then illustrations and quoting. So we click on illustrations and quoting. Then the first one we see, WinFlex web illustrations. Now, you have to register for WinFlex, because if you just hit the visit WinFlex and you don't have a login, you're going to have to register for it. Now you go back in here. The great thing about this is the instructions are right here. And it's funny, I get people call me all the time. Well, how do I register? Click on the instructions. Where's that at? It's right next to where you click on to go into log into it. So it's right here. Go to winflexweb.com. You can go right there, or just like we logged into it through the Mutual of Omaha website, you can do that. Click register for WinFlex, and we're going to do all this. Just want to show you how to do it. On the first page of the registration process, select a username, enter your personal information, click continue. The agency BGA selection page is going to come up next. Then on my companies, in my profile page, it will list the companies you'll be able to illustrate for. Verify that Mutual of Omaha Health and Mutual of Omaha United of Omaha are included. If they are not, you can check them at the bottom of the page and then select complete registration. So what does all that mean? Let's go do it. On here, you see down here, register for WinFlex. We click on that. Go in here and select your username. For this one, we're going to be Genesis Greg, right? First name, Gregory. Last name, Pitts. Credentials. If you have a company name, you can put it in there. If you don't, well, if you do got to put one in, so we'll just put in here FFL Genesis. You don't have to put an address on there. Put your number in here. Now, if you have when you guys become, and Corey helped me out on this, when you become senior sales manager or vice president, you get your own team logo. Then you can put your name in there. But as you're growing your team, go ahead and put it in there.
Yep.
That encourages you. 678-939-5354. Put your phone number in there. Your email address. I gotta put another one in here since I already got one. See this? I mean, just easy stuff that we do. Gotta make sure I spelled it right. Okay. Then they're always fun, making sure we put in the characters right, and case is important, uppercase, lowercase, whatever. I hope this looks like a capital C. We'll find out in a second. And then go ahead, continue. If there's any errors or something, it'll let you know. Okay. Now on this page right here, it says if you belong to an agency or BGA. In the list below, please select that organization. Otherwise, please continue to the next step. Some organizations are in here, some are not. I was practicing on this yesterday and today. I did not see FFL, I did not see Family First Life in there. So just continue to go. Because if they are in here, it'll automatically show you all of the carriers that they have that you can use WinFlex for. But I didn't see it in there, so you can go right to the next page, click continue registration, and you can go in here and put it in here. So for this case here, we're just going to go right down to Mutual. Now, I have Mutual of Omaha, United of Omaha is their life product. So that's the one that you want. United of Omaha is the actual life arm of Mutual of Omaha. Mutual of Omaha Health, that's the health arm of it. So, and then if there's any other ones that you would use the illustration with, you can find them in there. NLG, I think that's the National Life Group. I think we have that one too. Is that the one, Corey, NLG?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can click that one if you want to use that one. Transamerica may be, there it is right there, Transamerica, Tim. You already know that. You would click that one. And whichever ones that you're going to be using illustrations for IUL, that process, you can click that. If they're not in that list, you can go down here and find them in here and put them in here, and they will look at it and maybe add them to the list later on. So this is for, let me go back up. You may show your interest to companies that are not currently participating in WinFlex Web. To show your interest, select the companies below and click them in there if it's one that's not in that list, okay? Complete registration. And then it's going to send you, we go back to the instruction. Once your registration is complete, you will be sent a temporary password from IBX WinFlex. If you don't see the email, be sure to check your junk file. This email will arrive very soon after you register within minutes. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes it does take up to 24 hours. So if you don't see it in there right away, don't start sweating the load. It'll show up, okay? Once logged in, using the temporary password provided, click on profile on the upper right-hand screen, and there it will show you how to get your desired password, okay? Now, before I go to the next part, anybody have any questions on that? The instructions are right here, right next to it.
I do. I'm sorry. So,
No, go ahead.
So, for the WinFlex, once we register, do we put all the carriers in there that we use where it says click all, or do we just use the one that we're going to use for Mutual of Omaha?
No, so WinFlex is its own entity. It's not connected to Mutual of Omaha, but you can get to it through the Mutual of Omaha tool.
Okay.
So if you were so basically you have two ways. Now I don't know if any other ones, Tim, maybe you can help on this one. I don't know if Transamerica has a link to WinFlex in their tool. I don't know if NLG, maybe Renee can answer that, has a link to WinFlex in their tool. But you can go to www.winflexweb.com, and then you will be able to see all of your links. And even if you go through the link in Mutual of Omaha, you'll still be able to see all of the carriers that you are registered to use for WinFlex. Did that make sense?
Yes, I just wasn't sure if we had to do every carrier that we had while we were in there, or are we just doing the one because we're actually doing a policy right then. So thank you for clearing that up.
So this is just to register. When you go into the actual tool to do an illustration, you're going to click whichever the one that you want to use it for. So if you're doing for Mutual of Omaha, you're going to choose United of Omaha. If you're doing for Transamerica, you'll use their appropriate link. You'll do the appropriate link for NLG or whichever other company you're going to be doing the carrier for. Whether you go through the Mutual of Omaha link or you go right to WinFlex Web.
Okay.
All right. You good? That makes sense? I just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right.
If not, I'm gonna call you.
Yep. Yes, sir. Anyone else? All right. Fantastic. So now when we do this, we get our link and all of that. We log in here. Yes, my login is Navy Nuke. Very proud of that. And we log in. So now when you log in to WinFlex, here is your dashboard right here. You have illustrations, express illustrations, client manager, agent manager, group manager, user profile, e-app status. When you want to do an illustration, you click on the illustration button. Wait for it to load. It's gonna, over to the right, you'll see what's new by carrier. It'll list all the carriers that you have on here. For me, I just have Mutual of Omaha, United of Omaha, and Mutual of Omaha Health. So then when I go to start a new case, it'll show up on here. I'll click United of Omaha. It shows all of the products that you can use WinFlex on that are connected in United of Omaha. For our purposes, the ones that we will use, the one you will use the most is going to be the Index Universal Life Express, or IULE. That is our simplified issue IUL. If someone has some really good health and they wanted to get an IUL and you talk to them about that, you want to do an illustration with that, you want to choose the IUL Express. For the children, like we talked about last time, if you want to do an IULE for children, you can only use the Income Advantage IUL. And it has to be only $100,000 for the child. So again, because I had a couple of people after that, I can't get in here. Which product are you using? It's got to be the the Income Advantage IUL for the child IUL. Okay.
Gregory, can you also mention what you shared with me about the parents last time?
The parents. So okay, that's a good point. Thank you, Renee. So for the IUL for the children, the parents have to have at least twice as much. So the parents each parent has to have at least $200,000 in life insurance. They don't have to have it with Mutual of Omaha, but they do have to have, and I'll say it, I'm gonna do a Corey Williams. They have to have $200,000 of verifiable life insurance. So, and they may or may not make them verify it, but make sure that they have it. If they have siblings, the siblings have to have life insurance because they're going to ask you that question. Do the siblings, because they want to know, okay, well, why is this child have life insurance and the other two siblings don't have it? So everybody has to have the same type of thing. All right. Is that what you wanted me to say? Did I miss anything, Renee?
Nope, you got it. Thank
Okay,
you.
So I'm
thank
gonna,
you. Yes,
Renee,
sir.
first, thank you for bringing that up. So guys, just really quickly, sorry, Gregory. Just so you guys know, when Gregory's talking about verifying that, what they may ask for, and Gregory, they probably never audited and asked for it, but what they may ask for is carrier and policy number. And because sometimes you'll see on most all applications, if they have other coverage and you're applying for more through that carrier, let's say it's Transamerica, and now they're applying for more coverage, whether you're talking IUL or term or whole life or whatever, if they have coverage elsewhere, a lot of times to verify that, they'll ask for policy number as well as how much coverage. So thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
Hey, Gregory, is $100,000 the least that they can get?
For the children?
Yeah,
That's the only amount they can get.
the only, perfect, thank you.
Yep. The only amount for the children is $100,000. After they turn 18, everything is wide open. The sky's the limit. Yep. Very important to remember that. The other one that you may use, the Life Protection Advantage IUL, this is one. So with the Income Advantage IUL, if you want, your client wants more of the premium placed toward building the cash accumulation and less to be on the death benefit, then you want to use the Income Advantage. If the more emphasis on, I want to make sure that my death benefit is protected and strong, and yeah, I want to gain a little bit, earn a little bit of money in the cash accumulation, then you want to look at the Life Protection Advantage. Check those out. Play with those numbers. If you just say if you were in the Income Advantage IUL and you put in $100 for $150,000 for a 55-year-old male, and the numbers don't work out, where meaning that the years that the accumulation is growing is not a lot, and you're like, wow, do I need to put more money in? But the client doesn't want to put any more money in, go to the Life Protection Advantage. I do that all the time. So more is more based upon the actual death benefit, and then it'll put some in there for the cash accumulation. All of them grow, but the Income Advantage one, the cash accumulation grows much more than the Life Protection Advantage.
And
Okay.
one more thing, isn't the Income Advantage and Life Protection medical?
That was going to be my next part right there. Thank you. Those are fully underwritten. And what I've learned, and this is something I've just learned in like last month or something, doing these. Just because a person does not qualify with the Index Universal Life Express, because they may have some health issues, you can go to the Income Advantage IUL or the Life Protection Advantage IUL. They will be fully underwritten. And talking to Mutual of Omaha myself, they even said they have a very higher likelihood of being approved. Also, the IUL Express only goes up to $300,000. So if a person wants a policy higher than $300,000, and I know that right now because I have 4 that I'm working on right now that are over $300,000. Because as you start doing this and showing people the benefits of it with an IULE, people are going to start, well, what if I want to do 400,000, 500,000? Don't get nervous. Go in there and show them how to do it. And that's, I always tell people, me and Brandy every day, Brandy, what do I tell you every day? Practice it. Go in there and play around with it. Go in there and make sure that it works. Practice it so that when you sit in front of somebody, you're confident in that, right? So go in there and play with those numbers. See the differences between all 3. I do it all the time. If I'm going to see somebody, I do it with all 3 of them to see which one is going to be the best scenario when I talk to them. Go ahead. Somebody had a question?
nope, that was me. I have a quick thing. Tim, I might need you here for just a second too. So here's a pro tip, regardless of carrier. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick example here. If let's just say the one that pops in my head, and Tim, if you could answer this with trans, if you know, you probably do. If you're, what Gregory just said is really important, because just because somebody doesn't qualify for the indexed, right? Or let's just say because it's fully underwritten with the income advantage. Let's say they don't qualify for that. Doesn't mean they won't qualify for the Index Universal Life Express, the IULE. Did I understand that correctly, Gregory? Or vice versa?
Vice versa. Just because they don't qualify for the IULE doesn't mean that they won't qualify for the income advantage or the life protection advantage.
So here's the reason I make this point. Let's say you're working with somebody and they're at what I call the tween age, right? They're between 50 and 60, where you could still get term for maybe 10 or 15 years, or you could just go ahead and place them with a whole life. Explain the two differences to them, let them decide, right? That's what we do. Here's the deal though. Let's use Americo as an example. If somebody got declined for the, let's just call it the term 125, they got declined for the term 125, they could still apply for the Eagle Premier. I've had that happen before where they've got the term, but you go whole life because the underwriting platforms are different for term versus whole life. And you'll see that if you go back and forth, if you go onto our website at the FFL Genesis website and look at the term grid and the whole life grid and look at the exact same illnesses, they're very underwritten very, very differently. So I just want to put that out there. Don't close yourself off or think because they're declined with one or not another. I know we're talking about WinFlex, but I just wanted to put that out there. Tim, do you see anything different? Because we're starting to write a lot more Transamerica. Is that the same case in that tween age between 50 and 60, 65?
You know, yeah, they'll, I guess what's your question for about Transamerica?
No, what I'm saying is if somebody gets one, let's say they get declined for the term.
Okay.
Can they still apply for Transamerica?
Oh, yeah, 1000%.
Okay, so you're going to see that with a lot of carriers, because I know we're starting to write a heck of a Mutual of Omaha's turned into the last 2 months our top carrier. Transamerica is right behind them. So we want to make sure you guys have a full understanding of this when you're out with people. You have these understandings. Okay, Gregory, back to you. My fault. Thanks.
No, that's great because, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just had a real quick question in regard to the income advantage. If you have, I know that you were talking about the parents would have to have 200,000. Is that, I don't remember looking at that for kids. Is that available where grandparents, if they have that much, could they purchase that for the kids?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna take a look at, because I can't, if anybody who can remember real quick, I can't remember. I know that on like the child whole life policy, and that's a totally different, but they ask if you are the parent, guardian, grandparent. I think they ask the same question on the IUL. I think that they do ask it, are you the parent or grandparent or guardian or something like that? I think that's what they do to ask that. So if you're a grandparent, I believe you can, but let me check, or if somebody goes in there, within the next, couple hours or so, put it in the Slack and let us know. But that's a very good question. Who asked that question? I couldn't tell your voice.
It's Roger.
Hey, Roger, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for the question. Okay, we'll find out for you. Back to Corey's point, that is the same with, if you look on here, you see Term Life Answers and Term Life Express. Term Life Express is a simple issue, quick quote. If everything is great with their health and everything, it'll issue right away. If they don't get qualified with that, approved with that, the Term Life Answers is a fully underwritten term product. It works the same way. So if they don't get qualified with the Term Life Express, I'm just talking about in the mutual products, then you could try with the Term Life Answers. And the Term Life Answers goes up to like 65 million. I mean, I don't know. Tim Dog probably the only person to know somebody who wants to get a term $65 million policy, but you can use that for that fully underwritten. Now, if no other questions on this part right here, we'll go a little bit further. About 5 more minutes real quick. Okay, so we're going to pick an Index Universal Life Express just for this example. You click that, you click the client. It's going to come up with here. You put the client's name in. Tester man, he's 45. We're gonna leave it at 45. Male, from the great state Georgia. On here. Now, if you do easy solve, you really know how to do an illustration. If you do an IULE easy solve, you do not have to do an illustration, because it's almost going to be like getting a glorified whole life policy. The rates will be cheaper. The cash accumulation will be a little bit better than it was on a whole life. So you don't have to even do an easy solve on that. I mean, for easy solve, you just go right into the application and do it. At the end of it, it's going to ask you, do you have an application? I mean, do you have an illustration? You say no, and then click. The reasoning was no illustration was used on there, but you'll see that in the application. But for this purpose, we're going to choose no solve. No solve, 100,000. We're going to put in $150 a month. Okay.
Hey, Gregory, why would
Yes,
we
sir.
not just use easy? Thank you. Why would we not just use easy solve all the time then?
So easy solve. So easy solve, they're going to tell you what the premium is. Not no solve. You can pick not only the face amount, but you can select what premium that you want. But make sure, but you want to make sure that you fund it correctly so that your cash accumulation will grow to a number of years that you want it to go to. Most people wanted to go all the way to 100 or 120. With the easy solve, it is not increasing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to that point in a minute where the cash accumulation will not increase. No, I'm saying it wrong. The cash accumulation, the death benefit will not increase with the cash accumulation. So in a no solve, and you pick increasing. So let me do this really quick. So show this.
While you're doing that, Gregory, no solve is the better way to do this, because you could have 100,000, but if S&P is performing well and you're leaving it alone and you're hitting your target premium every single month, instead of having 100,000, you could literally have 130 or 136 or 125,000. Those kind of things as a death benefit as well, correct?
Right. If you choose increase, now you can do no solve with level, and it will still do the same almost the same thing as a whole life policy. But the no solve allows you to pick the premium that you want to pay.
So for lack of, because that sounds like we're talking about rockets and spaceships now. If I'm a new agent and I'm learning about IULEs and I'm trying to learn this stuff, what is the simplest way to do this so they can put a premium in? They don't have to worry about easy solve, no solve, all that kind of stuff. What do you suggest?
If you're going to, so if you want to be able to show them the illustration and show them how it increases, which is the main thing, purpose for the IUL, you want to do no solve. Do no solve. You're going to put the premium amount in there like we did there. Disbursements, you don't have to bother that. You don't have to bother the index strategy on the policy. Options, I clicked increasing. It could be either increasing or level. Increasing. VSP means monthly, so you want to make sure that is clicked in there. If they wanted add any riders on, these will tell you the riders that are already into the policy right here. You can look at some reports on here. Then you want to put your agent info in.
Gregory, when you're done, can you explain the difference between the level option and the increasing options, just so they understand why they would want to pick either one of those?
Yep, I'm going to show it. Okay, yep. Now, if you did everything right, it'll come out and it'll show you. If you did something wrong, it'll show you that what you did wrong, that you did something wrong. You can go back and, so as it's calculating, I'm gonna hit that submit button on the right. It's calculating. When it hits complete, this one is a good one. So has the person's name, their gender, age, class, and their state, the initial death benefit, the annual premium. So 150 times 12 is 1,800. The target premium. This is your most important piece for you as an agent. This is how you get paid. You don't get paid up on how much the premium is, like we do on 99% of all the other work we do. You're getting on the IUL, you're getting paid on the target premium. Target premium is based upon the cost that the insurance company has to do to pay their life insurance. Not the cash accumulation. The more it costs them to cover them for life insurance, the higher your target premium is going to be. The lower that amount that it costs to cover them for insurance, life insurance, the lower your premium is going to be. So if I did this illustration for a 22-year-old person with the same numbers on here, your target premium will be much lower, probably around $500 or $600. This is for a 45-year-old. If we did it for a 56-year-old person like me, your target premium will probably be over $2,000 for the same numbers right here. $100,000 death benefit, $100 a month. I mean, $150 a month. Okay, so that target premium is going to talk is how you are going to get paid for this product. Now we hit the illustration button, and I'm
Gregory, while you're pulling up the illustration, I was hoping somebody would ask this question when you put it in there. So you put $150 in there, and I was waiting for somebody to go, why did you pick $150? Can you explain that really quickly? I know you just did it for illustration purposes, but can you explain how you do that?
So you always want to make sure that you're funding. I could have put 100, I could have put 50, I could have put 75, but you always want to make sure you fund it enough so that, and I'm saying this while I'm scrolling through here, so that when you do the illustration, you can show them how far the payments go out. The more that you fund it, the longer the payments are going to. Oh, let me go back to the beginning. Let me go back to this part right here. This right here will tell you how many years. Increasing years, 57 years from their date of birth, from the age they are, present age they are right now. I'm sorry. So this person is 45. So this will go out till they turn 102, if my math is correct. So this will go from age 45 to age 102, the next 57 years. If I would have put $100 in there, it may have gone out for the next 40 years.
So the amount of premium that you choose determines how many years the policy goes for and to what age.
Yes, yes. So and that's why I like to do 2 or 3 with the client to just show them, because sometimes they'll, no, I only want to put 75. Okay, that's fine. Let's show you this. This is a great policy. This is a great program. Show them the numbers there. Let's put $25 more in there a month and see what this does. And you can see how that amount exponentially increases. So we show them that goes out for the next 57 years. And then this the illustration that kind of shows them. I went over this before, but I just wanted to show you how we set this up and the numbers. So we go all the way to the right. I'm not going to go explain all of this on here due to time. If we need to do this again, we can. All the way to the right where you see non-guaranteed on here, that's the one we're going to use. And there's reasons, but the guaranteed at the alternate state, I can talk about that, anybody, if they wanted to, offline, because we talked about that before. But this is the one we're going to use for this scenario. If you look at it, you see the accumulation value for the first year is $1,259. Surrender value, we're all insurance people, so I hope we do understand surrender value. If you did not want to keep this policy, you can say, I want to surrender it. You sign the agreement, you surrender the policy, which means the policy will end and they'll send you this amount in a check, the surrender value amount. The policy is gone, you get this amount and everybody's done. The death benefit, remember we set up is $100,000. Now, if you do in the increasing, if you do not use anything in the accumulation value and you died, your family would get the death benefit plus the accumulation value. So therefore, in this scenario, it says for after 1 year, it's 101,259, which is 100,000 plus 1,259. That makes sense? And then you can go through anywhere in here at year 20, 45,536 in the accumulation value. The death benefit is the accumulation value plus the initial death benefit of 100,000, 145,536. Now you see that, right? All right, let's go back real quick.
I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
Is this where we have to be careful about the money laundering?
We gotta be careful about money laundering anywhere.
Right.
This is not, this
Wouldn't, yeah, this wouldn't have, I'm sorry.
right,
host-
go ahead, Corey. I was gonna say
I'm
that, but you
sorry.
said, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Joshua, yeah, sorry about that, Gregory. No, this wouldn't have anything to do with money laundering because this is just, what he's talking about is death benefit, surrender value, and how much more money you would actually have in your policy year by year by year as you continue to pay. So this doesn't really have anything to do with that. We can discuss, Joshua, if you want to call me offline, we can talk about this after. Good question, though.
Yeah, this is just paying a premium. That's the beauty of this. This is just paying, like we put the paying $150 every month, like that someone would do on a regular whole life policy that we talk to clients about every day. But this, look at what can happen with an IUL. If this was a term policy, if this was a Eagle Premier, if this was a accident policy and they paid $150 a month, it's the same. You're paying the same amount, or you're paying the same thing, the same process. This is how the IUL works. Okay. It was something I was going to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Go back in here and now that what we showed you was increasing. If we hit click level, everything else is the same. We calculate.
Anybody have any questions while this is calculating the next illustration? This is fantastic, Gregory. I love when you do these. I literally learned stuff. I got like almost a page and a half of notes already. Anybody have any questions?
So on this case, you see that the premium pay years are 74. This is the level. Okay. Target premium still the same. Guaranteed years 32. Premium pay years 74. Let's look at the difference in this. And thank you for bringing it up, Renee, because it makes all the difference in the world. And this will answer a lot of questions that I have people call me and ask me this all the time. Why is this not going up? Now, does everybody see the difference? Everything is the same. Go to that last non-guaranteed accumulation value, 1,250, surrender value 0 on the first year, death benefit 100,000. Everybody see that? What's the difference? I'm gonna ask you guys. Somebody tell me besides Renee or Tim or Mark or Corey. Somebody else tell me what's the difference. Or Brandy. You can't tell me either, Brandy.
Okay.
Death benefit remains level.
There you go. That is the difference. Now, the death benefit. I don't care what the accumulation value goes to. The death benefit is going to remain level. Why does that matter? In the increasing, you can use the death, you can take the accumulation value, you could spend all of it, and it would not touch the death benefit. If you did use all of it up in the accumulation value, the death benefit is always going to be 100,000. If you died and didn't use the accumulation,
right?
Huh?
You're talking about borrowing from your policy once you have an accumulation in there of
yes.
benefit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody get that? What he's saying? That's huge. That's huge, huge, huge. All right. They must got it, Gregory. You're doing a good job.
Okay. And
wait, slow down. So if you, with the level death benefit, can you borrow from that? And if you can, it'll decrease the death benefit because you don't have the increasing. Is that right? Or, and if you're able to borrow from it, do you have to pay this back with interest?
You are 100%. That was going to be the second part of it. But since we're on this screen here, this is going to be almost like a regular whole life policy. If you borrow any of the accumulation value using the correct terms, Corey, if you borrow the accumulation value, it does take away from the death benefit. So let's say if we were in year, let me get an easy one so my calculations can be easy. In year 15, and then the level 24,920 had been accumulated, you take out, let's say you take out 10,000, take out 10,000 of that to do whatever it is you want to do with it. Now your death benefit is $90,000 if you didn't pay it back. All right. And with the whatever the interest that is in there. Now, one thing I'll say about this, people always get scared, even with regular whole life, talking about paying back the interest. Remember, even if you're paying the interest, who are you paying that to?
Yourself.
You're paying it to yourself. Remember that. You're not paying it to a bank, a credit union, or to Mutual of Omaha. You're paying that back to yourself. So don't let people get twisted up in that, even if they had to. So with the level, if we took 10,000 out after 15 years, out of that 24,000, now we got 90,000 left. This just tells you how much accumulation value that you can take away from the death benefit. And increasing, if you take, and I'm not gonna go back to that because it takes too long for the thing to compute, and then we're already at 9:55. In the increasing, if you take out, just say it was these same numbers right here. If you took out 10,000 after 15 years from that 24,000, you still going to have 14,000 in accumulation value and 100,000 in the death benefit. So if you took that 10,000 out to do whatever you needed to it, and 3 months later you died in that year, your family will get approximately 114,920, if my numbers are right. So that's just 24,000 minus that 24,920 minus the 10,000 you took out, plus the death benefit if you died in that year. So this is why I like doing the increasing. Does that make sense to anybody? Now, the level, as we see, the level goes out for a longer period of time because this goes out 74 years. So it continues to go out until they turn 120 versus 57 years. With the increasing, it went out to 102, but you get more to play with. Make sense?
So what you're saying is that whenever is an increasing, the person can borrow versus against the interest or the interest that is building versus this level when you borrow directly against the face value of the policy.
Yes. And these are called TFRAs. Write that down. TFRA, tax-free retirement accounts. So especially with the increasing, if you borrowed it, took it out or whatever, it's not having to be paid back. There's no interest, there's no taxes, anything like that. That's your money. This is why this is so attractive, because even with like IRAs, I'm not going to speak on annuities because I'm not fully educated on that. But I know with IRAs and 401ks and different things like that, there are tax things that you have to pay depending on when you take them out. But this right here,
you're right.
With annuities, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
they are with
I don't want to speak. I don't want to say it because I didn't know.
Understood.
So any other questions on this? I love talking about this because Brandy gonna be an expert on this in a minute because I'll be hammering her every time she make a mistake. But let's go back and see what you did.
So guys, I hope the value in this, and Gregory, you always, I could see, I love insurance, so I can sit here and get really, really super technical with the non-guaranteed and the altered, scale with the interest rates. This is not as complicated as some of the questions that I may have asked Gregory today. It's very simple. In most cases, you want to do increasing, as Renee brought up, because it's going to give them a better, I don't want to say bang for their buck. It's going to give them a higher rate of return, right? Because they could actually have more death benefit than what they originally set it up for. Then being able to borrow from it, right? As Gregory was mentioning, the TFRAs and that kind of stuff, which we're not going to get too into that. Just remember when you're doing this stuff, if you have any questions, ask. You got to get registered. Don't wait until you go in and start trying to use this newfound knowledge with somebody, and then you have to get set up with WinFlex while you're sitting here talking to a client. You'll lose them all together. Do that stuff ahead of time. I will have this recording out on our page by this afternoon. I promise to do that, or by this evening. Get this training out there so you guys can watch it and regurgitate it and slow it down, back it up. But Gregory, if you had to give just 2 or 3 tips before we go, 2 or 3 tips on somebody trying to sell their first IUL, kind of give them a quick 30-second, 45-second elevator pitch of what you would do.
Ask your clients because people I was at a event talking to a nonprofit, and they were like, "Oh, we want you to come and talk about when somebody dies and going to probate and all of that, what you need, and not having to do GoFundMe." I said, let's do better than that, because my son is 32, I'm 56. I got a great life insurance. He shouldn't have to wait till I die 40 years from now to get $750,000. Let's show them how they can create that wealth while we're living, so that he can enjoy it. And hell, I want to enjoy some of it too. So let's talk about building wealth and creating legacies than waiting for someone to die to get a good legacy for your family. Let's enjoy this while we're all living and see it grow together, and do it like that. And that's what I do. And I said, let me show you something. Let me show you something that's going to create a good legacy for you. Let's show you something that you can use when you retire or before you retire, and set it up for your kids, and the whole family has a good wealth foundation built for them in their life. And then we just go ahead and do it.
Not a lot of people are providing this benefit to people with IULEs, guys. They just don't understand it. It's not that complicated, but this is definitely a different conversation that you can have with people that makes you look like an expert. And a lot of people like to say, oh, I've got a financial planner, or I've got a financial advisor, and that kind of stuff. These products kind of position themselves like that. And the biggest thing, before we let you guys go, for those of you guys that are still here, the biggest thing is too, this is a great way for a family to create wealth, as Gregory said, while they're living. And this is a great way for them to accumulate wealth today. Gregory just posed down there, if you go to the end of the policy year, 60 years. Gregory, you were just there. Yep, no, that's fine. Stay there. 75 years. So end of policy, 75 years. That person would be 120. Can you go back up, Gregory? Let's do something a little bit more reasonable. Let's go 86. 51 years. Look at the death benefit there. Started out as 100,000, but look what it is now because of the accumulation. So, anybody have one last question before we go? Because I know we got people.
I have one last point I think might be helpful to everybody. So you see how the illustration is based on 5.87%. So
Yep.
We have to give a realistic expectation, because we can't overpromise something that we can't guarantee. But what we can do is show them what the S&P 500 has done and the average accumulation that we've had over the last 20 years. Gregory, can you show them that slide real quick?
For those of you guys that know why Gregory's digging for that, great point, Renee. This stuff can get so technical. S&P 500, for those of you guys that Standard & Poor, that's all it is. It is basically a stock trading platform. So the Standard & Poor pulls 500 companies. Okay, that's all they do. 500 companies that they're going to invest when people are buying these stocks. That's all they choose is those 500, and that's all they invest in. So it's like the NASDAQ or any of the other trading platforms, but they only invest in those 500. That's why it's called the Standard & Poor or S&P 500. So to Renee's point, go ahead, Gregory, and then we'll let you guys go.
Yeah, and I was really just trying to do the WinFlex to show you how to set up.
Right.
I didn't want to go too in depth with this, but we kind of did it last training, and we can do it on the next time I do one.
Yeah.
Or if Tim or the boss wants to do one time to go into this a little bit deeper, because it is a lot to try to do in an hour or in 45 minutes. But yeah, this page right here just shows you over the past 25 years how the S&P 500 performed. The IUL is not connected to it, but it mirrors it. So it has a ceiling of 10% and a floor of 0%. So the great thing about it is you will never lose money with your IUL when you set it up. If the Standard & Poor, if the S&P 500 goes below 0, you still have a guaranteed amount. That's what that guarantee column is on here. And I didn't want to get this far in deep into it, but we can talk about this. That's what that first column is. That shows you if the S&P 500 is 0 or below, that's your guarantee what you're going to get. So you're protected. If it goes anywhere between 0 and 10, then you get whatever the S&P 500 is for that year. If it goes above 10, if the S&P goes up to 16, you'll get 10% because that's your ceiling. So it has that protective range in there. Unlike a variable IUL, a variable UL, you go up and down with. If the S&P 500 wins, you win. If they lose, you lose too. So this has an index, meaning it has a high and a low, a range to protect you. All right. Corey, I'm done. It's 10:04. I'm sorry that we went too long.
No, man.
I hope this was helpful to everybody. But back
Thank
to you,
you.
buddy.
You
This is the kind
absolutely
of stuff you
crushed.
want to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you
Gregory,
go.
thank you
And I'm giving it
thank
back to you.
very, very much. Thanks you. Thank you very much. Guys, thank you for staying on. I know we had a bunch of people that had to jump. This is the stuff. This is why we have these trainings. This is why we do the stuff we do. Gregory, you crush it again, like you do every single time. I could talk to you guys about this stuff all day long.
Right, all day.
We appreciate you guys very much. Gregory, excited that you guys are made the decision to come on here. Fan Troy and Brandy, and I think Charisma. I think I might be missing somebody, but we're excited to have you guys here full time. If anything we can do, let us know. Guys, let's crush it. Let's have a great weekend. Bye for now, guys.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.
Good luck, everybody. Thanks, Gregory.
You're welcome, buddy.